Have you ever wondered if there's just a smarter way to learn? Well, today we're going to unlock the science of how your brain actually gets good at stuff. We're going to break down 4 powerful, research-backed protocols that can completely change how you study, work, and learn. Well, pretty much anything. Let's dive in. Oh man, we have all been there, right? You spend the entire night cramming. You feel like you've got it down, and then you wake up, and it's just gone. It is so frustrating. But here's the good news. The problem isn't you. It's probably your technique. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at why our brains sometimes fool us into thinking we're learning when we're not. Then, step by step, we'll build a brand new system using 4 proven techniques that actually get the job done. All right, first things first, we have to understand the core problem. It's something scientists call the illusion of learning, and it's this sneaky feeling where feeling like you're learning and actually learning are 2 completely different things. This, right here, gets to the absolute heart of it. When you just reread your notes over and over, your brain starts to recognize the information. It feels familiar. And the big danger is that our brains mistake that cozy feeling of familiarity for actual mastery. But just recognizing something isn't the same as being able to recall it from scratch. You haven't really built a strong memory yet. Okay, so if just passively rereading is a trap, what actually works? Well, the solution starts right here with our very first protocol, intense focus. You can think of this as the foundation for everything else. Intense focus is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. But let's be honest, it's way harder than it seems these days. It means you commit to one single thing. That's it. You put your phone away. No, seriously, put it in another room. Close all those other browser tabs. For one solid block of time, you eliminate all interruptions. This undivided attention is the loud and clear signal your brain needs to say, hey, pay attention, this is important. And here's the really cool part. What's happening inside your head when you do this? That intense focus triggers the release of a chemical called acetylcholine. And the best way to think about it is like a neurological highlighter pen. It literally marks the specific brain circuits you're using as important, getting them ready to be changed and strengthened. So how do you put this into practice? Easy. Use the famous Pomodoro technique. It's so simple. You just set a timer for, say, 25 minutes, and for that time, you work with 0 distractions. When the timer dings, you take a short break. That's it. You're using these focused bursts to quite literally highlight what matters in your brain. So, you've used focus to highlight the right information. Fantastic. Now, you gotta strengthen that connection. And that brings us to technique number 2, active recall. I want you to think of this as literally lifting weights, but for your brain. Active recall is the total opposite of passive rereading. It's not about passively putting information in, it's all about actively pulling information out of your own head. So instead of reading that chapter for the 5th time, you close the book and force your brain to remember what was in it. It's that struggle, that mental effort, that actually builds the strong neural pathways we want. Let's just look at this side by side. Passive rereading, it feels comfy, feels easy, but it only creates weak, fragile memories. That's the illusion of learning we talked about. Active recall, on the other hand, yeah, it feels difficult. It can be a real mental workout, but that struggle is a sign that it's working. That difficulty is what forges strong, long-lasting knowledge. So how do you actually do this? It's really simple. After you study something, just close the book and try to write down everything you remember. Or use flashcards, a classic for a reason. My personal favorite, though, is to try and explain the concept out loud to someone else, even if it's just your cat. If you can teach it, you really know it. Okay, so you focused, you recalled, but here's the thing. Our brains are actually designed to forget stuff. It's a feature, not a bug. So how do we fight back? Well, we do it with our 3rd technique, spaced repetition. This is a scientifically proven method to beat what's known as the forgetting curve. The whole idea here is to review information, but to do it strategically. Instead of cramming and looking at something 10 times in one night, you review it just a few times, but you space those reviews out over longer and longer intervals. Maybe you look at it again tomorrow, then again in a few days, then next week. This specific timing sends a powerful signal to your brain that says, hey, this information is important, save it for the long term. You know, the science behind this is just so elegant. We all naturally forget things over time.
That's the forgetting curve. Spaced repetition works because it gets you to review the material at the exact moment you're about to forget it. That little interruption reinforces the memory, strengthens it, and flattens that curve right out.
So what could this look like? Simple. You learn something new today, you review it tomorrow, then you wait and review it again on day 3, then again a week later, and so on. Now, the best part is you don't even have to track this yourself. There are awesome apps like Anki that can automate the whole process for you. It's a game changer. And that brings us to our final and, honestly, maybe the most underrated technique for learning. If intense focus is like hitting the highlight button and active recall is strengthen, then sleep is your brain's non-negotiable save button. We have this idea that sleep is just passive rest time, but for your brain, it's one of the busiest times of the day. While you're sleeping, your brain is working hard on something called memory consolidation. It's actively taking those new, fragile memories you made during the day and cementing them, locking them into stable, long-term storage. Let me be completely clear about this. If you don't get enough quality sleep after you learn something, you are basically throwing away a huge chunk of all that hard work you just did. It's like writing a masterpiece and then just shutting down the computer without ever hitting save. All that effort, just gone. And during the different stages of your sleep, your brain is doing different jobs. When you're in deep sleep, it's literally replaying the neural patterns of what you just learned, making them stronger, faster, and more automatic. Then, during REM sleep, it takes that new information and connects it to everything you already know, building this rich, interconnected web of knowledge. Okay, so we've covered 4 really different protocols. But here's the secret. They're not really meant to be used on their own. The real magic happens when you combine them, when you weave them together into a single powerful learning system. So, let's put it all together. This is your new system, the 4 pillars. First, you focus intensely to highlight what matters. Second, you test yourself with active recall to build strong memories. Third, you make those memories last by reviewing with spaced repetition. And finally, you lock it all in. You hit the save button by consolidating with quality sleep. Look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is a practical, science-backed toolkit for becoming a radically more effective learner. You have the tools now, so the only question left is, what are you going to master first? Thanks for tuning in.